Hello. Thank you so much for coming in. It's wonderful to see you today. Today we're going to go over your employment information form. And this is what it looks like, just briefly. This is the request for employment information, which is it is related to your Medicare. That's right. You can see it's a very simple form. It's only one page, and it has basically three sections to it. We have Section A, which is completed by the individual signing up for Medicare Part B. Section B is completed by the employers. And then down here we have the hours bank arrangements only. Now we have two separate documents that go along with this form, and they kind of help familiarize people with the form. And this is the first page. This is the initial page that comes along with this form, and it is information about the request for employment information. So I'm just going to go over this with you. This is from the Department of Health and Human Services. See, it's very brief. We only have just a few paragraphs here. So I'm going to read this to you. Is that okay? Okay. What is the purpose of this form? In order to apply for Medicare in a special enrollment period, you must have or had group health plan coverage within the last 8 months through your or your spouse's current employment. People with disabilities must have large group health plan coverage based on your or your spouse's or a family member's current employment. This form is used for proof of group healthcare coverage based on current employment. This information is needed to process your Medicare enrollment application. The employer that provides the group health plan coverage completes the information about your healthcare coverage and the dates of employment. So we do not ask the individuals to complete that. We need to verify with the employer the actual dates just to make sure everything is accurate. How is the form completed? This is the next section. Complete the first section of the form, Section A, so that the employer can find and complete the information about your coverage and the employment of the person through which you have that health coverage. The employer fills in the information in the second section and signs at the bottom. Okay, and here's the next part. What do I do with the form? Fill out Section A and take the form to your employer. Ask your employer to fill out Section B. You need to get the completed form from your employer and include it with your application for enrollment in Medicare, and that is Form CMS 40B. Then you send both together to your local Social Security office. You can find your local office at www.ssa.gov. And if you need additional help with the form, they have some contact information here for you. Like they have the phone number for Social Security, which is 1-800-772-1213. And then they have it in Spanish also. And then if you need help in person, if you need to go to the local office, as it states up here, you can find your local office at www.ssa.gov, which is G-O-V. So I'm going to give this to you for you to keep, okay? I'm going to put that right here. So you can take that with you, okay? Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go through this form section by section, and that is what the third page deals with, and it literally walks you through every step by step instructions for this form. They make it very simple. Okay, so in Section A, and that's the section that you will complete, the person applying for Medicare completes all of Section A. So, and what this document tells you is you complete this. It's going to be completed by the individual signing up for Medicare Part B, which will be you. So in Section A, line 1, you add your employer's name. And then in Section 2, you put the date that you complete the form. And then in section 3, you add the employer's address. And the city and the state and the zip code go over here in these special boxes. So you have the 2 places for the state and 5 for the zip code. You add on section A, number 4, the applicant's name, which would be your name. And in section A, part 5, you add the applicant's social security number, 3 digits here, 2 digits here, and 4 digits here. And then you add the employee's name and their social security number. So say your spouse is the one who provides the coverage, then you would add your spouse's name and social security number in sections 6 and 7. Okay, and well, let's check and see if you have to do that. Okay, see, we have number 1, employer's name, date, employer's address, applicant's name, applicant's social security number, employee's name, and employee's social security number. If you get group health plan coverage based on your employment, write your name here. So you can put if you were the employee, you can just add your name and social security number to both 5 and 6. So those 2 lines together. I'm sorry, 4 and 6. If you get group health plan coverage through another person, like a spouse or a family member, you add their information. And same with item 7, which is the employee's social security number. So if you're the employee, you just write your social security number in again. Okay, once you complete section A, once section A is completed, give this form to your employer to complete section B. Once section B has been completed by your employer, you return the form along with your Part B application. Do you have that ready? Okay, great. You return this form with your Part B application to your local Social Security office, which you can find at www.ssa.gov. Okay. Now what we're going to do now, we're going to look at section B. We're just going to look at it, and then we're going to read the step-by-step instructions. So here is section B, which will be completed by your employer. And this is for employer group health plans only. So, in this, you don't have to worry about any of this, so don't put anything in here. We're going to they're going to add this information relating to is the applicant covered under an employer group health plan, and the date, and whether or not the coverage has ended, and if so, the date that the coverage ended. And then they ask if the employee worked for the company, and then they have the dates when they started and when they stopped. If you're a large group health plan and the applicant is disabled, please list the time frame, all months, that your group health plan was the primary payer. So then they have to give a time, a date range, month, and year. They don't have to give the specific day, but they have to provide a month and a year. So let's read the step-by-step instructions for that. And you can see that's a pretty significant amount. They go into a great amount of detail, and I find that people really appreciate that because it helps them really understand some parts of the form that can be a little bit confusing. So it's really helpful to a lot of people. Okay. All right, for section B. If you're an employer without an hours bank arrangement, complete the section called For Employer Group Health Plans Only. Number 1, item 1 that we looked at, is or was the applicant covered under an employer group health plan? Please check yes or no if the applicant was covered under your group health plan offered by your company. The applicant may be the employee or another person related to the employee, such as a spouse or family member with disabilities. If your company doesn't offer a group health plan, please check no. A group health plan is any plan of one or more employers to provide health benefits or medical care, directly or indirectly, to current or former employees, the employer, or their families. So that is Section B, Item 1. And then we have Section B, Item 2. If yes, give the date the coverage began. You write the month and the year, the date the applicant's coverage began in your group health plan. And then Item 3, has the coverage ended? Check yes or no if the group health plan coverage for the applicant has ended. And then Item 4, if yes, give the date the coverage ended. Write the month and year the group health plan coverage ended for the applicant. Item 5, when did the employee work for your company? Write the start and end dates of the employment for the employee in which the applicant is related. It may be the applicant or another person related to the employee, such as a spouse or a family member with disabilities. Enter the month and year of the start of the employment in the From box. You have the 2 boxes for the month and the 4 for the year. Enter the month and year of the end of the employment in the 2 boxes, 4 boxes. If the employee is still employed, enter the month and year of the current date. So if you see that they've completed that with this month and year, don't be alarmed and think that employment has ended. They just have to put in the current date. Current employment is active working status. It is not disability or retirement. And then Item 6, if you're a large group health plan and the applicant is disabled, please list the time frame, all months, that your group health plan was primary payer. Write the start and end dates that your group health plan was primary payer for the applicant. Okay, and now this is for the 3rd section, the hours bank arrangement. I'm going to show you that very quickly. And again, this is not something you have to do. We're going to get the employer to do this if necessary. This is for hours bank arrangements. And here they have to answer, is or was the applicant covered under an hours bank arrangement? If yes, does the applicant have hours remaining in reserve? And then you date the reserve hours ended or will be used. So that's just this little brief section right here. So if you had an hours bank arrangement, they will complete that section. And then we have a brief description here that talks about the hours bank arrangement section. If you're an employer with an hours bank if you are an employer with an hours bank arrangement, complete the section called for hours bank arrangements only. And then we have Item 1. Is or was the applicant covered under an hours bank arrangement? Please check yes or no if the applicant was covered under an hours bank arrangement. If you check no, please also fill out the section for employer group health plans only. And then section C, select Section C, Item 2. If yes, does the applicant have hours remaining in reserve? Do you know if this will apply to you? Okay, well, they will probably fill this out for you then. Please indicate if the applicant currently has health coverage based on the remaining hours in the employee's hours bank account. And then Item 3, date reserve hours ended or will be used. Please write the month and year for when the remaining hours in the employee's hours bank account expired or will expire. Okay, and then down here at the bottom, we have signature lines, and these are for all employers. You do not need to sign this down here. They will add the signature of the company official and the date that it was signed, and here they use the month and the day and the year, so they do include a date, and the title of that company official, and then a contact number including area code where that official can be reached. So if they have any questions about your form, they have someone that they can contact. Now we have one extra section on this step-by-step instruction sheet, and that's this section here. And I want to read you this. It's just this little section. That's all. We've already reviewed everything. Do you have any questions so far? Okay, great. Okay, now this is about the bottom of Section B, which is the we already went over. All employers need to complete the bottom of Section B. They have to add the signature of the company official, like we just discussed. An official representative of the company needs to sign this document. Please do not print. And usually it will be somebody in HR. Yeah, it's usually who signs it. The date that the form was signed. You write the date that you signed the form in this field. Title of company official. Print the title of the company official who signed the form in this field. And the phone number. Write the phone number of the company official who signed the form in this field. If there are questions regarding the information on this form, a representative from Social Security will contact you. Well, not you, but the person who signed the form. So when you finish Section A, and that just comes down to here, you don't need to worry about anything below this section. Once you finish this, you'll provide it to your employer and they will complete everything else. You don't need to sign or put anything down here. Okay? Because if you do, we will have to start over with a new form with this information blank. Okay? Well, great. Do you have any questions? Do you have anything that you... does it have to be notarized? No, we don't. Now, there are forms, of course, there are government forms that have to be notarized. This is not one that has to be notarized. As you can see down here at the bottom, there's nowhere on here for a notary stamp or anything. It does not have to be notarized. It does not have to be witnessed. All they need is the signature of the company official and their title right here and the date and phone number, and that's all as far as any sort of proof of signature. They just need that information. So let me give this to you. Okay? And go ahead and get that filled out, and then we will get this submitted with your Medicare Part B. Okay? Great. Well, it was wonderful seeing you. Yeah. I hope you have a great day.